sailing. Na, na, na. Hey dear Patreon friends, today I'm back with a new video and I'm very excited about it because I have been kind of in a rut. I think it happens to all of us. We don't know what we're practicing, what we should practice anymore, or we're bored with the stuff that we have been playing, and sometimes it's tricky to get out of that. And I found something that sort of led me out of this trapped feeling, but then again, it's harder than I thought, right? So basically what I'm going to do today, and I guess this video is going to be kind of chaotic, I'm trying to balance that out by giving you a sheet with the melody of the tune and basic chords and some of the stuff that I'm talking about now. But please take the time to watch this video in a peaceful moment, or when you have some time to really digest it, right? Put away all your digital devices. And yes, so it's going to be about Rod Stewart's tune, I'm Sailing. I have been crazy about this tune when I have been 8 years old. I just remembered that, and I think if you want to learn to transform a pop song into a more like jazz chord melody arrangement, it's a very good idea to start with something that you know very, very well. So go deep down into your psyche, in your subconsciousness, and try to remember maybe the tunes that you liked and that you listened a lot to, and then you start with the melody. But first of all, I'm going to drink some coffee. I have a new mocha maker because I have this Bialetti mocha maker and it broke down. And now I bought like the cheapest version of a mocha maker. And I have to tell you, it's not so good because I think the water goes too fast through the coffee beans. And then it doesn't taste the same. It's a little bit more bitter. Still, I need my coffee. So, okay, so where do you start? Yeah. So the first thing is to start with the melody because we want to make a chord melody arrangement right. And so you just take your guitar and try to play the melody by ear, starting on whichever note and looking if you can figure out that melody, right? And most of the time, very many melodies end on the root of the key that you're in. So in my case, this is the C. And in this way, I know I am in C major already. So it's G, A, C, C, E. And all the notes in this melody stem from the C major scale. So I already know now, okay, I'm in C major and the melody, all the notes of the melody stem from the major scale. And you know, we're talking about a pop song today, but a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about today also is true for jazz standards. Many jazz standards have a melody in a major scale, right? And you want to figure out which scale is it. And you also want to figure out which of those notes, sometimes it's only one or two notes, unless it modulates, right, are not in that scale, because this is going to give you like a new view on the melody. Also, with the guitar, I want to say, check it out, right? Check out your melody, but then try to play it somewhere that you don't end up playing on the low 3 strings or not too much on the low D string, because where are you going to play your chords then, right? So it's good if your lowest note is on the G string. If that's not possible with the melody that you have, you can choose another key. Feel free to play any other key, right? So one thing that I did is I checked out the original chords from Rod Stewart and he's playing it in B, and I'm going to play it for you in C with his chords one time, just so that we get a general idea of that song. I'm a terrible singer. Na, da, da, na, da, na, na, da, 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 na, na, So something like this. All those chords already stem from the C major scale, or from the family of C, of the family of the C major scale. So the C, the 1 chord, the A minor on the 6th degree, the 4 chord, the F major. We have the D minor on the 2nd degree. That's it, right? But we are also going to go even further, and we're going to try to harmonize this melody with only 3 chords, right? So with the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord, with the C, the F, the G, and this should be enough, because we're going to reduce it so much, like in a minimalistic way, that at the end of this game, we're going to have so much more liberty, or so many more ways of harmonizing this melody, if we are strong enough and brave enough to reduce it to those 3 basic chords. And it's not as easy as you might think it is, because the trick is to hear it differently, because of course we are all used to hear it in this way, like Rod Stewart does harmonize it. And also, you know, if you would do the same exercise with, like, let's say It Could Happen to You, that's an E flat, or There Will Never Be Another You, that's an E flat, or Out of Nowhere, that's in G, and just do the same exercise, like thinking, okay, what's the melody? Are there any notes that are not part of the melody of the major scale, right? And then try to harmonize it with 1, 4, 5. This is what I'm planning on doing the rest of this year, because seems very fascinating to me. And then you will have to hear the tune in a new way. So now I'm going to play I'm Sailing with 3 chords, and I have been doing this for 3 days now, and I'm still not completely satisfied with it. I think I'm getting closer. If any of you has a very good idea how to play the chords differently than I do, please let me know. So I'm trying to do it. And what helped me is I'm going to play it in sort of another style, so that I get away a little bit from the feeling that I normally have for this tune. So it's I am sailing, na, 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 da, 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 da. I am sailing, I am sailing, da, 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 sorry, I am sailing across the water, I'm to be true. So that's your first step. It's, you know, the melody, and you know those 3 chords, and also you know how they go together, right? That means either you sing the melody and play the chords with it, or you play it on the piano, right? Play the melody in the right hand, play some basic chords in the left hand. But that's where you start. You have to have those 2 connected, because I very often feel that people don't connect the melody with the chord, and they just take the chords and leave the melody somehow out. I don't know how, but you know what I mean. So be sure that you can understand that you know which notes are on which chord. So I, for myself, I always write it down, because it makes it really much easier to have sort of an overview. And so I'm writing down the melody. Don't freak out about the rhythm. You can just write down the chords and then the melody, so that you just have the connection, right? Okay, so, and the next step would be to do something cool with it. So how do we do that? So first of all, you have to toss certain types of chords out of the window, right? Like all those, you know, more basic chords. You can't achieve a jazzy sound with them, right? And also, yes, any bar chords, you're going to toss them out the window. So you probably know that there are lots of types of voicings, and it's a really good idea to learn lots of types of voicings. I'm not going to go into that today because that's too much, but just going to show you types of voicings, right? So one are the open triads that are very helpful. Then also, of course, the shell voicings and the drop 2 voicings. Everything in all the inversions, also the closed triads. So those are all types of voicings that I would just like, because I used them for a long time. They will sort of emerge in my planning on doing a chord melody, right? Plus also I will check out the original chords from Rod Stewart, so I have an idea how he harmonized it, and that will inform my decisions as well. So let's start with the first two chords. Yes, first two bars. So the first bar is very clear. It starts sort of on the C, and we have a C chord. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing an open triad with a G, E and a C, because then I have the option to harmonize a melody on the G string, right? And then it goes on to the A, right? And then here I have been struggling a lot because I thought, will I change to the F major chord there? Then the A would be the third, right? Or will I stay on the C? I wondered. And then I thought, okay, what is Rod Stewart doing here? He's actually playing C. He's going to A minor, right? And so one way to think about chords is also how can you interchange them. So you can sometimes, you know, if you're just playing your normal folk guitar, you can play an A minor instead of the C. That would be the relative minor, right? So just swap the chord. And also instead of an F, you could play in D minor. So those two relationships are very important. C and A minor, think about the options that you could interchange them, and F and D minor. So he's playing A minor in the second bar. So I thought I stay with the C chord, yes, but I have this A. And that just, you know, over the years of playing many standards, it's a lot of stuff happens at the same time when you're trying to harmonize a melody. I know just some tricks, right? So if I'm looking at a jazz standard, I sometimes think, this is a way how you can harmonize a 9 in a melody or a root in a melody, right? And since I have this A here, I thought maybe I can do sort of a voice leading on the C, because that's beautiful, right? You can do like G, A flat, A, B flat. So if you go back to this chord, right, or somewhere else maybe again. Let's try it somewhere else. I'm sure you heard that before, and though I thought I do like and then I have this G going to A flat, and then I have the A here. So sort of I transpose the voice leading, right? So it's G, A flat, A, B flat. Instead of playing, I'm playing. So sorry, it's confusing, I guess. But so basically you can remember if you have a major chord for a longer stretch of time, you can play like a 5, going to a raised 5, going to a 6, and in this case, going to a flat 7, that turns the C major chord into a C7. So I'm going to play it again. And that makes it sound really logical. So what did I do? I decided that I would play 2 bars of C major in the beginning, right? I would do a voice leading, and I also would transform the C major into a C7, which is like a secondary dominant. Which leads to the F major, right? And now I'm playing like an F major sound. And now I'm playing an E minor instead of the C major, because that's another option. You can play the E minor instead of the C major. And I'm just like, you know, I'm thinking E minor, then I'm thinking A7, right? Because that's just like a jazzy thing to do. If you have a minor 7 chord, you can play like the 5 chord, or if you have a 5 chord, you can play like the 2 chord. So C7 13. This is a drop 3 voicing. D minor 7, G7. So basically, when I'm having a G7 chord, right, I would play a 2 in front of that chord just to have a little bit more voice leading. And if I have a 1 chord, I might play the 3rd degree, but also with the 5 chord going with it. And here I also could go from F major on the 4th degree to 4 minor. And this is like a chromatic 2-5 in between. And I'm ending on the C, and I know one trick is just like to play on the flat 2nd degree. And then resolve it. This is like a drop 2 voicing. It's so hard to explain this stuff. I am really wondering how I can explain it, because you know, some of this stuff is sort of in my finger from playing a long time. And yeah, so maybe to give you some more clear advices, right? So if you're having a C major chord, you can transform it into C major chord, right? And if you have an F major chord, right, like an F major chord and G7, right? And then to the G7 you can play the D minor 7, and to the C major 7 you can play instead E minor 7, or maybe E minor 7, A7. Also nice to think about a bass movement. And then yes, the 4 degree, very often if the melody allows it, you can just like morph it into a minor chord, and then, you know, go 1 fret lower. Then you have the E minor 7 instead of the C chord, right? And so in the 2nd row, I have this where I'm playing this chromatic 2-5, and the C of course doesn't work very well with the E flat minor, but I like this sound. It's very cool. So maybe we can go back to the beginning of the video and try to do something else in this place. So I've been playing a G here in the basic harmonization, and then an F, so once again. So I just would play that over and over again, right? So here already I would think, okay, I can harmonize the E with the D minor. And then I have the A and the D. And yes, here I would already play, instead of the F major, I would also play the D minor. Right? And then I have those two notes, and one exercise that you can also do is like try to play a chord under each and every note, right? So maybe just like, let's have a look at this, right? So this is our tonic. This would be also possible, right? So instead of playing the 4, which play the C maybe. Sounds good as well. So maybe then I'm thinking, okay, I'm playing what can I play instead of the C major chord, right? Maybe an A minor. And then I'm thinking, how can I approach the A minor? Maybe with a 2-5. So this, I could play an E7. And I could play a half diminished chord here. So basically I'm always thinking where I'm landing, and then I'm trying to play something that leads to this point. So that would be the G. I'm always trying to play on the G string, not here, right? Because then don't have so many options. So I'm playing A, C, E, D minor 7. Because I have to play this note 2 times and I don't want to play the same chord. So I'm going to land on the D minor. So 3 notes before I'm landing on the D minor. So could think about it, secondary dominant. That would be the A7. And then the note before the secondary dominant is a C. Could play like a B flat, maybe even like this. It's a B flat 7, 9 like this. Kurt Rosenwinkel often plays those low chords like this. So I have, sorry. So I only need to harmonize this one, the A, and I know the next chord is the B7. So going there with an F is maybe not such a good option, F minor, but wait, with an F7. So I'm back cycling, right? Yeah. So I hope this video is not too confusing, but basically you start out with those 3 basic chords and also maybe have a look at the basic chords that you have from the pop song that you're arranging, so you have some more options to think about the harmony. Try to play the melody and the chords, and then look where the melody lands, right where it rests, and then cycle back from this point. This can be through like, a chain of dominant seventh chord, or another thing that you can think about is to think, how can I replace a chord? So third relationships always are useful. So if you're having the C major scale and you skip the D minor and then the next chord is the E minor 7, that's a third relationship. But also in the other direction, C major, skip the half diminished A minor. So those chords, and with the D minor, the F major, and the half diminished in the other direction, maybe that's useful as well, because an inversion of the B half diminished is D minor 6, right? So maybe write down all those chords, and also maybe write down all the possible secondary dominants in that key, and then just experiment. And one thing that I did a lot is I gave myself the task to harmonize every note. So I hope this was helpful. I would like to do more videos like this, but I don't know if that's maybe too chaotic. Please let me know if I could help you like this, and I'll see you next week. Bye.